Hey folks, welcome back again to Rotten Reelz Reviews Audio Review. We are at number 28. Now, I took a poll, or a survey if you will, to see which of the franchises sound more interesting, and most of you said Subspecies. So, that's what we're going to do. Subspecies. Director, writer, producer Ted Nicolau of Subspecies, Bloodstone Subspecies 2, Remote Bloodlust Subspecies 3, Dragon World, and Vampire Journals brings forth the tale of vampires and humans living in a pact of peace for far too long, according to some. So we're going to check out with the Vampire King Vadislas, and is that Angus Scrim? Angus Scrim of Phantasm 1 through 5, and I Sell the Dead, is being greeted or ambushed by eldest son Radu, Andreas Hoove of Critters 4, The Silencer, Bloodstone, Subspecies 3, Family Passions, Subspecies 4, Bloodstorm, whilst apparently was exiled and returns back to Preshna to claim not only the throne but the sacred Bloodstone, an enchanted artifact said to drip the blood of the saints, which would empower or warp a vampire. I'm just ignoring the fact that it looks like a bloody push pop, and Vladislas didn't have another one to share, I assume. Gotta love the king dropping a cage on Radu. I mean, I need a cage for my front door when the Mormons come to convert me. Pesky salesman, cage. Radu, you've been a very bad boy. But quicker than you could say wrongful imprisonment, Radu springs in action. As being not an ordinary vampire, he also seems to have magical powers, as well as his own vampirism, creates minions from his very blood, freeing him from his temporary prison, and allowing him to slay his father, and indeed claim what he deems his birthright. Meanwhile... yeah, I know, I love doing that. Meanwhile, 2 American students come to Preshna as a result to observe folklore in the residing area as part of their dissertation. Yeah, they're getting a PhD in folklore and mythology. Yeah, I sense you teaching at a community college. Michelle, Lara May-Tate of Dead Space, Digstown's I Love Trouble, and California Myth, and Lillian, Michelle McBride of The Playroom, Mask of Red Death, and Prey of the Chameleon meet up with their fellow college roommate and local Preshna, I guess citizen, Mara. Irena Molvia of Hotel Deluxe, Sundays on Leave, Diplomatic Siege, and Alone versus Myself. As they've made arrangements to stay in the existing fortress of the Braslov Citadel. The caretaker holy cow, are those his eyebrows? Wow. Ivan Rado of Mask the Puppet Master 2 and Mac and Me retells the tale where a handful of monks and warriors were said to have held off the vampires until the king of the vampires was given the Bloodstone to pacify his hunger, thus creating a lasting peace of more than 300 plus years, or so they thought. The girls venture around through the countryside and look at the ruins of Castle Vladislas and take a few photos. Lillian accidentally cuts herself in the doorway and leaving a bit of her blood to tempt poor Radu. He tracks them down to the forest and proceeds to stalk them in true creeper fashion. Girls also encounter a fellow graduate by the name of Stefan. Michael Watson of Freddy's Nightmares, General Hospital, Deadly Black Fellas, Midnight Man, and Viper, a fellow student and traveler of this region who immediately somehow gets goo-goo eyes for Michelle and vice versa. But to be fair, it is actually a fairly subtle undertone. It isn't that... well, okay, you know, you have a lot of people complaining about this one way or the other, so I can't really argue with it. Stefan makes his way to the castle as dawn approaches to combat his brother Radu. Why, if Stefan and Radu share the same father, would that make them vampire brothers? So this entire film is shot in the Transylvania area of Hundaro, Vaslov, and Siena, with extensive footage used with a lot of fisheye lens, some anamorphic, and for some reason it's still recorded in mono. The subspecies creatures themselves were originally supposed to be stuntmen filmed on a blue screen, but Nikolov found it to be too hammy, so he went for full stop animation and the rod-based puppets instead. The girls in question are being pursued relentlessly by Radu. Granted, it's only at night, and Carl is just, he initially is just like, oh, it's a random sickness. The whole village is really quiet about it, except with a handful of people. In fact, even the eldest gypsy is telling Michelle and Mara how the story of the King of the Vampires is true, and he still slumbers. But it is likely the evils have been unleashed again. Now, they're engaging in a reenactment in the village as well as this graveyard scene of the Festival of Dead, where apparently they bring a large horse, and if he gets creeped out by a particular grave, they immediately stake it. And this process has been done for well over 600 years, apparently. So, yeah, this tradition, they keep reenacting. Now, keep in mind, this is also one of the first American films shot in Romania, of all things, and a bit of a guilty pleasure on my end. Radu is your atypical vampire pretty boy in the sense as he is more kind of a traditional Nosferatu look, including these elongated fingers, of which oddly enough the subspecies originated from. And boy, is he a drooler. He's not drooling spittle, he's drooling blood. Yeah, he is a messy eater. So, with that in mind, though, oh yes, and don't worry, fellas, there's boobies. I just may have not added them to the clip. Oh, yeah, a guilty pleasure for many to have. That being said, though, again, if you have any suggestions, any further comments, maybe Sean should have to sit through a movie or two, we'll figure out something for him, right? Let's find something really big. Full Moon Entertainment has 2 franchises that are really just crap. So, I would suggest either Demonic Toys or Evil Bong. Either way, he's going to be squirming in his seat and have to suffer. But that's all I got, folks. You have a good one, and we'll see you next time.